the original, and not the awful remake, John Carpenter's The Fog. It's one of those movies, when it first came out, I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great, because I was holding it up with, I don't know, I was a lot younger then, and there wasn't much gore. It does have a few moment set pieces, but I guess I was just too young to understand the atmosphere that Carpenter was going for, and visited it years later when it came out on DVD, and the atmosphere is just incredible, and I fell instantly in love with it. It's funny what time will do. Okay, back to more Clint Eastwood for a few dollars more. Special Collector's Edition, Forrest Gump. I'm sure all you've heard about this movie, so I'm not going to take a lot of time to show it off. Everybody knows what that is. I just happen to think it's fantastic. Another fun one, 42nd Street Forever. It's a ton of trailers, from The Undertaker and His Pals, The Flesh and the Blood Show, I Dismember Mama, Blood Spattered Bride, Italian Stallion, Centerfold Girls, Wicked Wicked, Panorama Blue, Shocking Asia, Behind Convent Walls, Bullet Machine, Super Fuzz, Iron Master, Devil's Nightmare, and just a ton more. I'm not going to read off the whole list here. But it's just a bunch of trailers and movies that played actually on 42nd Street. And it's a lot of fun to watch. 40-year-old version, the unrated version. This movie makes me laugh out loud. But it also has a touch of class to it, even with all the crude humor. It really works. I don't have that many Bond movies because I've been waiting to get the Bond sets, but I found a real good price on this. I think at a place called Grocery Outlet. It was like $3.99, and I had watched the Bond movie at home in ages, so had to pick it up. And for $3.99, it was fun to revisit it again. Frailty, directed by Bill Paxton, and he stars in it, and I was really scared of this movie when it first came out, because Bill Paxton has a tendency to way overact. Aliens, game over, dude. But he's very subdued in this, and it's nothing really over the top. But very worthwhile film, I believe. It's more of a thriller than a horror movie. Of course, Frankenstein, F is for Frankenstein. I have that in my title. So here's Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, one of my favorites of the Hammer movies. I believe this one is still slightly cut, though, unfortunately. Someday maybe Paramount will re-release a lot of their DVDs uncut where they have been cut in the past. I haven't picked up the new versions, and I plan to here real soon. Or at least one of them. That's the uncut version of Friday the 13th. This is the other release. I had gotten it at a good price ages ago. And then, of course, Friday the 13th Part 2, which I don't think I need to pick up the other one because it's still cut someday. But finally, unrated version of From Beyond. If you have not seen this and you loved Reanimator, check this out. This is more H.P. Lovecraft, more the sexual, gooey gore end of it, but it is fantastic. Great special effects, and finally pretty much uncut. I think it's still missing one little scene, but it was a scene that I believe Stuart Gordon didn't want to keep in the film because it just didn't look right to him, and from what I heard, it doesn't. So, okay. From Beyond the Grave. Warner actually did a really good job of releasing this one. So, there you go. It's a really nice looking print. So I'm really glad I got this. Okay, another giallo, but a very bizarre one. A lot of people have seen it, were disappointed. For some reason, I still like it, although it's absolutely one of the most ridiculous giallos out there. And that is French Sex Murders. and it's about a Humphrey Bogart look-alike who is a detective, and there's murders in a brothel, and it just gets nuts, and the ending doesn't make any sense. But like it says, it's a giallo, is a riot from beginning to end, groovy. And you get that whole mod-style groovy feeling when you're watching it. It's really kind of bizarre to see. Director's Limited Edition of From Hell. It's a 2-disc edition, and I think it's a great film. It's beautifully put together, beautifully shot, great set pieces, and a lot gorier than I thought it would be. But Jack the Ripper theory gone crazy there. Another anthology film. If you have not seen this one is Bent and Twisted. And just because Vincent Price is in it does not mean that it's an older film and it's going to be like the Corman movies. This movie is gross, disgusting, foul, massive gore, twisted, incest. It's just nuts, but it's got some great stories. So if you've never seen it, or if you're not into the anthology films from the 60s and stuff, just because it's not bent enough, this'll do. This sucker is bent. Speaking of bent, and I absolutely loved it. It was recommended to me, and then on the Halloween sale at Best Buy, it was a really good price, and so I gave it a chance, because my friend told me that I would definitely love this, and he was right. I thought it was fantastic. It's Frontiers. It is Bent and Twisted, part of the 8 Films to Die For series, and probably one of my favorites of the 8 Films to Die For series so far. I've liked quite a few of them, but I think this one really stands out for me. Another Tobe Hooper classic. He made a lot of more films than people give him credit for. Everybody just thinks he made one good movie. Well, I hate to tell you that, he did not. So, there we go. Funhouse. This is another kind of bent movie when you actually start thinking about some of the scenes in there. This is the Good Times release. And it's 2.35 widescreen. And pretty smart movie, actually. Not the remake. The original. I like George Segal quite a bit, and he's even funny on the show Just Shoot Me, although I would never own him or anything like that. It's not that great of a show, but I can sit through it. That's Fun with Dick and Jane. Another one I got at Big Lots for like $3. I hadn't seen it in years. I loved it as a kid. The idea of two responsible adults that seemed kind of like my parents at the time going out and starting to rob. It was just some kind of hysterical. And the last of the F's, Brian De Palma's The Fury. What a gory ending, what a great action, adventure, thriller, sci-fi, horror movie. I mean, that's the only way to put it. It's one of those few films you can put into almost every category. It's got a lot of drama, it's got sci-fi elements, it's got horror elements, it's got a lot of action and adventure elements. If you have not seen it, way ahead of its time when it came out, based on a great book. I also have the book. So that's it for F's. We'll go into G here real soon. So enjoy.